Are we gonna wait? Come on, car, you better wait. Oh my gosh, like this is impressive. Good morning, everybody. We've got quite an interesting drive coming up today. It's kind of a bittersweet drive, if I'm honest. I mean, where we're going right now is to put Nico, my Tesla, under the knife. It's finally the day that surgery happens on the front windshield. It is being replaced, which reminds me I need to take some of my mounts off. But this has been a long time in the works, and a lot of you guys have made comments. Well, every video someone comments about the windshield. I know you guys can see it, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And if you haven't been around the channel long, it started with a tiny little crack way over there, tiny crack, and it has worked itself all the way across to now the middle of my windshield, a little bit past it. So it's time to get it fixed. I have my appointment scheduled 3 weeks ago, and today's the actual day. So we're gonna see how far Autopilot can take us down there. And when I say Autopilot, I mean the full self-drive beta, the full driving system here. So if you're new to this channel, I try to do everything from an educational standpoint. I know there's a lot of people entering into the Tesla space every day, and there's so much to know, so much to learn to help build your confidence in the system. So I try to point things out as we go. So if you like that kind of thing and you're new to the channel, please take a minute and go down and hit the like button on this video, as well as subscribe. And the reason why I ask you to do that is if you interact with the video, it causes this video to get sent out there into the YouTube algorithm, and people looking for stuff like I'm doing here, it just makes it easier to find. Here's how we get started here. You have a right gear stock right here to put it into Autopilot. Well, let me tell you this. If you pull it down one time, what happens is you lock in your max speed. You see right there, it says 50 miles an hour max. You can adjust that to pretty much whatever you want, up to probably 90, 95 miles per hour. It doesn't really matter. There's probably a specific number. I've never maxed it out or cared enough to look. But you change it there, and then you still have to drive the car. You still have to steer it. All that's doing is your regular cruise control everyone's used to, with that adaptive ability that you see in most newer cars today. But to put it into Autopilot, you pull this down twice, okay? 1, 2. And you see now I'm in full self-drive. So the thing is one time, I get asked a lot, so if you're already in adaptive cruise control, can you just pull it down one more time, totaling twice that you pulled it down? The answer is no. You still need to pull it down twice to go into Autopilot. They don't want to mistake it that you just bumped it or something and put it in Autopilot. So now that we're in Autopilot, I want to point out something that's new. At least it's been new to me since I got the beta. In order to cancel Autopilot, what we've always done in the past is we either just knocked it up like this, which does it obviously, put your foot on the brake, or grab the wheel. But now you can also just press the park button and it'll terminate it as well. Still probably not recommended, but it's a way that never used to do it for me. So what we're gonna be doing today is we've got a 20-mile drive out to the Bellevue Tesla Service Center, where they're gonna be swapping out my windshield. I've already been told there are no spare vehicles for me to take home, so I'll be using Uber to get back home. Now, they do offer, at least at this location, vouchers for Uber, credits, I guess they are. So they will, I don't know how much credit that is. Maybe it's half, maybe it's $10 towards it. I really don't know. But if I were to pay for it straight out, it'd be $100 to get home. So that's what I'm gonna end up doing to get home. And it should take a full service day to do this. So what we're gonna do is just see how far the car can get me there. We'll listen to some good music on the way, and we'll talk about all the different things that the Tesla has to deal with along this journey. And then finally, we'll be able to have a nice clear view out the windshield. And, you know, ever since I upgraded to recording in 5K, even though I know you guys aren't seeing it in 5K, it just really shows up, and it's very distracting. So I appreciate you guys sticking around, even though you had to deal with that, but we're gonna get it fixed here. So the first thing we're gonna come up right now is the right turn onto this next road. Should be very easy, very simple for the Tesla. It's just a matter of waiting for our turn. Light turns green, car's gonna take a right. Now, you'll see my hands are always on the wheel, and there's often controversy on these videos, and people say, well, he said the car did all the driving, but his hands never left the wheel. That's true, because you have to keep your hands on the wheel. Like, this is the part that's confusing. I have my blinker on to turn right here. The car behind me also wants to turn right. I would normally, take that myself, just squeeze on over there and go around that car like everyone else did. And the truck behind me was gonna go do that. But it couldn't, because at the last second it saw my blinker on, and it was like, oh, this person's actually turning. Why isn't it going right now? The car is always going to obey the rules of the road. And so it's not right. I mean, you're not supposed to go around other cars to make a turn legally, technically. And so that's why this car didn't do that. And so sometimes you find yourself getting a little bit frustrated with the car and saying like, well, why isn't it doing this or this? It's because we're so used to doing things that aren't technically right and legal that we get awkward when the car doesn't do those things. So when you're out there driving, just understand that's what's going to happen. Also, when I'm doing these drives like this, I let the car do a lot of its braking. It brakes all the time for random stuff. It's done it 3 times already just going up the hill since a turn, where it kind of slows down 2 to 5 miles per hour just randomly. And so I drive it a little bit different when I'm recording than I do when I'm on my own. When I'm on my own, my foot is always on the accelerator, preventing all that stuff. As soon as I feel it on my foot, I just tap it and push through it so the car doesn't drop too much speed. But I don't do it here so you guys can see exactly, what all is going on. But I do have my foot over the accelerator in case it's too aggressive to prevent anyone from running into the back of me, as well as I keep it hovering over the brake in case there's a reason I need to hit the brake. So, Tesla's pretty clear that we are in a beta state and we need to always have our hands on the wheels ready to go. There's all this talk in the news right now about the recall from the 2 cameras up top that were not syncing properly and causing all kinds of hard phantom braking and everything, which is why Tesla called back everyone to 10.2 and then re-put out 10.3.1. And there's a lot of people that are just worried about the emergency vehicle, how it hits them and all that stuff. And I mean, the thing is, Tesla has never once said, take your hands off the wheel and let it drive past emergency vehicles. Let it do all these different things. They said, you got to stay in control. Think of it right now, you guys. Like right now it's braking. See how it's going down 40 miles per hour, 39. So it went down 6 miles per hour right there. Tesla has always said, you got to help the car right now. And so you want to think of it like as a third hand on the wheel, okay? That's what you want to be thinking of it like when you're driving. Your hands are the main ones, and the full self-drive beta is like a third hand holding the wheel and steering for you. So my hands are here because they have to be. I have to provide torque constantly on the wheel every 20 to 30 seconds or more right now. And so that's why my hands are always on the wheel. But if I ever turn off autopilot for any reason, whether I help it hit the brake or anything, the way you're going to know that is because, well, watch. See, my screen looks quite a bit different when it kicks off. So that's how you will know that I'm no longer on autopilot. See, right there, the car passed a stop sign and we dropped down about 13 miles per hour, but the stop sign wasn't in our lane. It was tilted a little bit over in that lane, and the car reacted pretty aggressively to it. Another thing you got to remember to do, you guys, when you're driving down the road, if something happens in the car and you're on the beta and you didn't disengage autopilot, because when you disengage autopilot, it automatically sends it back to Tesla. Like if you jerk the wheel and it gets out that way, it'll send that video and footage back to Tesla. But if it does something like that where you stay in autopilot, you got to go up here and tap that little video camera symbol up there on your screen to make sure you send that data back to Tesla so they can use that to train the cars. And I will cut out some parts of dead spots of this drive, so you guys might have to watch the boring stuff, like setting at lights if nothing's happening, or I don't have anything extremely good to tell you. But this is all happening pretty quick so far. So the car is doing great, staying in its lane. Did that all very well there. Very smooth, very nice stop, very nice acceleration. That was really nice. So each time that the speed changes, you'll see me come up here to the right wheel here. This controls the max speed. If you do it slowly, you can see I can go up 1 mile per hour at a time. But if you do it fast, it just kicks it up to the next 5. So like I was down at 45, and I just flick it up really quick, and it goes up 5 each time I do that. Flick it up again, goes up 5. It's obviously not going to do that because it's keeping the distance I have set from the car in front of me, which is controlled by this one. By clicking this right or left, that controls how far you get from the car in front of you. And I recommend right now in the beta to keep fairly far away. I have mine set at, that's the volume. Sorry, I said that wrong. I don't know why I said that. So this is the speed, max speed, but this is also where you change the distance. I have mine set at 7 car distances, so I just have a lot of time to react in case I need to. And I'll point out too that a lot of you might have just thought, well, what is he talking about? He always has to increase his speed every time there's a new speed limit. The reason why I have to increase it is because I have it set to not give me any extra speed over the speed limit right now. I would recommend that if you're on the beta program, so you can stay in a little bit more control, to not increase the speed, because sometimes the car can take off like really fast around a corner and stuff. And this just gives you a little bit more control to adjust the speed over the speed limit that you want versus, you know, having it go set to go 5 over automatically. At least when you're learning and getting used to it, I would recommend that. It just seems to help gain confidence a little bit. So now we're heading into a town called Issaquah, and I guess we're turning right here. And the car turned on its blinker late there. We were already in the lane when the car turned on its blinker. Okay, we're taking it pretty sharp to the right here. Is it gonna stay? It is barely. Okay, I helped it there with the accelerator a little bit. It was kind of going like really slow there. And the car's back driving now. So it's 20 miles an hour through here. We're going through it's not even a school zone. It's like just where a bus barn is. So I'm gonna put the speed back up to 25. Of course, we're not gonna go 25 because we're going, well, I guess, yeah, we're going the speed of the bus, so I guess we are going 25. But there's some really slow, tight turns through this town. It's kind of one of these cute old towns that's kind of growing up. I guess there is a school here. And, but yeah, it's there should be a couple challenges for the car in here, and then we're going to be getting onto a big freeway called the I-90, and that's going to take us out to Bellevue. So in situations like this where the car can't see the lights, it's relying on the speed of the school bus in front. So it's basically just saying we're in traffic and I'm just going to go at the speed that the car in front of me is going until I know otherwise. So it doesn't really matter if the car can't see the light. It's just going to react based on the car in front. Now, if the car ran the red light, the car would eventually see the red light as it passed and would stop. It wouldn't go through. So we can see our target. We need to get over there into one of those 2 left turn lanes. I don't know what the algorithm for Tesla is saying to do in terms of which left lane to get into. I guess we'll find out right now. It's a green light too, so I hope it takes off and gets it. 40 miles an hour, so let's get it up to 45 so we can get in there. So it's gonna go to the far left, which is the proper thing to do. At least that's what I would do. And it does go through the yellow light. I love that. I'm so glad it doesn't slam on the brakes for that. Now, are you gonna put me in the carpool lane? It did. So put me in the furthest left lane, which I can't be here, so I shouldn't be in this lane. So I'm gonna hit the right blinker and tell it to get out of this lane. And it will cross it because it's a single white line. So we cross it, then it automatically turns off the blinker. And then I'm gonna send that to Tesla because I shouldn't have been in that lane. Eventually, they're gonna read that from that inside camera, and they're gonna know there's only one person in the car. And, or maybe something will pop up and ask how many people are in the car or whatever. Okay, so what you just saw was the car just jumped into its native navigate an autopilot where the graphics change and all that. And again, I think that when everything switches to single stack, that this is gonna look like street driving, which is what I hope. I know a lot of people disagree with me. They like the simplicity of this view. I couldn't disagree more. I like having as much stuff on that screen as absolutely possible, but that does come with being an absolute nerd. So, you know, that's expected. So we're within a mile now of our exit. So you can see that the car is starting to search, and you know that because it puts a gray line in that lane it wants to get into, as well as it shows up here upcoming lane change. Now you can cancel that, or you can tap the indicator stalk to cancel it. But the car's got to get itself in there. Okay, now it just decided it needs to go. It sees the car's there, and it's gonna try to fight its way in here. So we'll see where the car actually makes it. It's got quite the obstacle here. It's got to get through. Are we gonna accelerate and pull in? Looks like this car is gonna let us in. Ooh, nice job. See, that's what I love about the lane changing ability of Teslas, is it is very assertive in getting us into the proper lane. So that's great. So construction detected. So it noticed all those cones we were going past and made sure it was driving a little bit more cautiously, a little slower, to be aware of those. It also kind of keeps away from the cones a little more. So here we are. As soon as we get onto these main roads, there we go. We just switched on to regular full soft drive beta. And this is what I hope we see all the time pretty soon. And this is really great. So what do we got coming up here? So it sees we need to make a turn up here. It's navigating over. I mean, look at how complex this is right here. The two lanes veered that way. Now we're going here. Now it's got to get in the proper lane to turn left up here. And it is not in the right lane right now. It is absolutely completely in the wrong lane. Let's see what it does. Okay, there's the blinker. We're getting back over. Excellent. Okay, a little jerky there, but we got over. We got over. How far are we getting over? And we are deciding to go all the way to the far left. All right, I'm okay with that. And look at it, nice and slow down to the light. Man, fantastic. Wow. So impressive. And look at all this stuff that it's reading. There is like, it's like someone just went out here with a color crayon and drew lines all over the intersection here. If a Tesla can get through this catastrophe, I would be so impressed. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, it would be confusing for a person to look out here. Here we go. Light turn green. Slight touch of the wheel. Have my speed set to 50 miles per hour. I better fix that. Okay, there we go. We're back at 30 now. All right, and we're gonna do a quick get over. Beautiful job. There was someone right there, got him right in front of him in a nice way. Didn't cut him off. Very good. And then we're gonna be, I guess we're taking this right here. Oh my gosh, like this is impressive. Very, very impressive. Blinkers on again. We've got a pedestrian coming across the crosswalk here. We got a green light, but are we gonna wait? Are we gonna wait? Come on, car, you better wait. Okay, it sees that pedestrian, it's waiting. Oh man, nice work. Pedestrians off the street. The second they step on the sidewalk, the car goes. 100% the car, no help from me on the accelerator or anything. Super, super impressive. New headline for this drive, most impressive drive yet on full soft drive beta. My gosh, unreal. So now we got about a 3-mile stretch straight through lights, other cars coming around. We'll just make sure the car stays in the right turn lane or the correct lane, and we should be good to go. Now take a look at this here. You have a car that is sticking out into the lane here. Now it just pulled itself a little more in, but what's a car gonna do? Okay, it went right past it. Now, a lot of times what it does in those situations is it will brake. It'll brake hard, and it used to do that before the beta. I've never had to do it on the beta, but it'll see it, and the last second just crush the brake pedal on the old system, the part that everyone has who doesn't have the beta. And I have to say, that handled that really well. It went slow, and it didn't even really need to veer away from it, but I have seen it do that. When there's a car partially in your lane, it will go around that vehicle, but it didn't need to there. That was impressive. Yeah, there's a construction over here on the right, but nothing that affects the Tesla. Hey, whoa, what are you doing here? Woo! You see that? Car just about took itself right out there, went over that speed bump. That's something I haven't really seen before, and so that's something that I definitely have to report. It would have gone right over that curb there, which curbs it usually doesn't have any issue with, but it definitely did that time. There's another Tesla behind us here. They probably caught us on camera. Well, it'd be funny if they're on beta too. They probably aren't. So we're very close to the service center here. And that was the second time on this entire drive that I've had to take it, take it out of Autopilot and correct it. And second time I've ever had to actually send information into Tesla. So pretty impressive. I'm not going to be too upset about, just a couple times having to do that at this stage. All right, here we go. Keeping in the left lane here. Very good. And then we need to get right over real quick here. There it goes. Beautiful job. Yes. Because we're going to be turning right here into the service station. And we're flying up to it real fast. Are we going to make it? Okay, we're going to hit the brakes here. There's a Tesla symbol. Let's see if we can make the turn into the parking lot. It's a nice sharp turn, and it does. Boom. Look at that. It's driving itself home. This is where it came from.